We all grew up with Disney's enchanting fairy tales, didn't we? The glass slippers, the true love's kiss, the happily ever afters. But what if I told you that beneath all that sugar-coated magic lies a world of nightmares? What if Disney took some of the most gruesome stories ever told and repackaged them as bedtime stories for children? Today, we're peeling back the glitter to reveal the dark truth Disney doesn't want you to know. Let's start with the classic, Cinderella. In the Disney version, the evil stepsisters tried to squeeze their big feet into the glass slipper, fail hilariously, and are simply left behind. But in the original Grimm brothers' tale, things get much, much darker. Desperate to make the slipper fit, the first stepsister is told by her mother to cut off her own toe. She does, forcing her bleeding foot into the shoe. The prince is almost fooled, but two little pigeons point out the blood. So, the second stepsister tries. Her foot is too wide, so her mother hands her the knife and tells her to slice off a piece of her heel. Again, she does, and again, the pigeons reveal her bloody deception. But their punishment doesn't end there. At Cinderella's wedding, those same pigeons fly down and peck out both of the stepsisters' eyes, leaving them blind for the rest of their lives. A far cry from just being uninvited to the royal ball, wouldn't you say? Next up, the fairest of them all, Snow White. We remember the evil queen wanting Snow White's heart in a box as proof of her demise. Creepy, for sure, but the Grimm's version takes it to a whole new level. The queen doesn't just want her heart, she wants to eat it. Specifically, she orders the huntsman to bring her Snow White's lungs and liver, which she plans to cook with salt and devour, believing it will make her beautiful. The huntsman, taking pity, brings back the organs of a wild boar instead, which the queen greedily eats, thinking she has consumed her stepdaughter. And what about her punishment? In the Disney film, she falls off a cliff during a thunderstorm. The original is more poetic and far more tortuous. At Snow White's wedding, the queen is forced to step into a pair of iron shoes that have been heated in a fire. She is then forced to dance in these red-hot slippers until she collapses and dies. A truly grim ending for a truly grim character. Now, let's dive under the sea with the Little Mermaid. Ariel's story is one of youthful rebellion and finding true love, with the biggest sacrifice being her voice. But Hans Christian Andersen's original mermaid pays a much higher price. When the sea witch gives her legs, it's not a painless transformation. Every single step she takes on land feels like she's walking on sharp knives. The pain is constant, a relentless agony she endures just to be near the prince. But the prince, while fond of her, sees her more as a charming pet than a potential wife. He ends up marrying a human princess, leaving the mermaid heartbroken. Her sisters bring her an enchanted dagger from the sea, which, telling her that if she kills the prince and lets his blood drip on her feet, she can become a mermaid again. She can't do it. As the sun rises on the prince's wedding day, she throws herself into the ocean, not expecting to turn back into a mermaid, but to dissolve into sea foam. Instead of a grand wedding and a life on land, her story ends with her sacrificing everything, including her own life, for a love that was never returned. She doesn't get the guy, she gets oblivion, and it doesn't stop there. In the original Sleeping Beauty, there's no true love's kiss from a charming prince to wake the princess. Instead, a king finds her asleep in the castle, and without her consent, he has his way with her. She becomes pregnant and gives birth to 2 children, all while still in her magical slumber. She only wakes up when one of her babies, trying to nurse, accidentally sucks the enchanted flax from her finger. She awakens to find herself a mother of 2. With her violator long gone, he later returns, and after his own wife tries to cook and serve the children to him, he has his wife burned and then marries the princess he assaulted. It's a story of violation and brutality, not romance. So why the drastic changes? Why did Disney scrub away all the blood, the pain, and the moral ambiguity? The answer is simple. Nightmares don't sell theme park tickets. Fairy tales were originally cautionary tales for adults, warnings about vanity, jealousy, and the harsh realities of life. They were meant to be unsettling. They were reflections of a world that was often cruel and unforgiving. Disney didn't invent these stories, it sanitized them. It took the raw, often terrifying, essence of human folklore and wrapped it in a bright, marketable package. The magic isn't in the fairy godmothers or the singing animals. The real magic is in the marketing. The ability to turn a horror story into a family-friendly blockbuster. It makes you wonder what other stories have been polished for our consumption. What other dark truths are hidden just beneath the surface of the stories we love? Perhaps magic was never real. Perhaps it was only ever rewritten to give us the happy endings we so desperately crave. shielding us from the darkness that inspired them in the first place. The real world isn't always a fairy tale, and maybe, just maybe, the original storytellers knew that all along. Thanks for joining me down this dark rabbit hole. If you enjoyed uncovering these twisted truths, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the stories you thought you knew. Let me know in the comments which fairy tale's origin story shocked you the most. See you next time.